Oh, Pisces, I love these moments when Spirit says it's time to read. It's completely different from when I'm usually putting out videos, right? Because when I'm usually putting out videos, I'm calling on, you know, the talent or the gift, if you will, and I'm saying, okay, let's get this out there right now. But the thing is, we all have to pay bills, so we go ahead and we do this. But the thing is that sorry, I'm picking up a card that fell on the floor. The thing is, we're not really always in the space that we need to be in when we're doing these readings, even though we want to be. We have so many external influences that are pulling our energies away from us. But when these moments come, you know, these glimpses, and Spirit says now, it's like the magician energy, right? It goes off and it's so bright and it's so powerful. And when every card is laid out, you don't even need to think about it. It falls on the table and you're like, okay, I get this. And not only do you get it, but you get a million incredible messages that come with it. And so I should tell you ahead of time that I did unfortunately lose my grandmother this past week. My family has been absolutely incredible trying to be there to support her and support everyone. And I tell you, in a pandemic, this is just unprecedented. Unprecedented. But anyways, regardless, circling back, I guess what I want to do is tell you that I got the urge. I was told now. So I started just firing out cards. Well, they were jumping out of the decks. And what an amazing reading I have for you. And it begins with the Two of Raphael. Mark my words, this is going to touch your heart because I know that someone needs to hear it. So the Two of Raphael is akin to the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups, it's water energy. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. It is that bond, the real bond. It's that bond where, you know, you're literally energetically attached. It's something you cannot explain. It's something that science cannot explain. Your energies are intertwined, and you know, it's either a soulmate, a twin flame, or even just somebody that comes along in your life and knocks you for six because they love you more than you love yourself. And I guess where I'm going with this is kindred spirits. Don't give up on those you love. This is such an important message. And the reason why is because, you know, we come onto the earth plane and everything is set out for us. We have our family, we have our materialisms, you know. Really, have you looked around at all of the blessings that you truly have? No, a lot of us don't, because we are always striving for more. But that is society-induced behavior and society-induced thinking. Now, some of you may not have had a proper mother figure. However, in your pain and in your strife, and if it wasn't even a mother figure, say it was a parental figure or a caregiver, or say you were adopted. Yes, I get it. There's pain with adoption because you felt like you were abandoned, given up with this Five of Cups. But regardless of the situation, no matter what your origin is, the reality of the situation is that that was the lesson. And it was a hard lesson. It was a lesson that society can tell you everything that you're supposed, quote unquote, to do. You're supposed to love this person. You are supposed to respect this person. And yet this person can hurt you in so many ways that, you know, I've heard stories from a lot of subscribers. And at the end of the day, the reality is that everyone is our family. Some of you may have lost a parental figure, and some of you may have had an amazing experience with that parental figure. They could have been loving, nurturing, kind, caring. They built you up, and maybe it was their time to pass. But others of you, you may have had a parental figure who wasn't there for you. But what shocks you is that in your pain, hence this Five of Cups, in your sorrow from some tragedy or some obstacle or something that was really harsh that you had to deal with, somebody emerged to love you. And it shocked you. Why? Because they saw your light. They know what you're worth. Whether this is a friend, whether this is a boss, whether this is a coworker, whether this is just somebody random on the street. Like I remember when, what was it? It was years ago now. It was 20 years ago now. I was walking down the street. I had just had a fight with my boyfriend, and it was a very low vibrational group of people that were surrounding me because I had moved across the country to live in a whole new place, and I was actually escaping the pain of my own mother, right? Not that I don't love her, but you know, abuse is abuse, whether it be verbal, physical, emotional, psychological. There are so many levels, and I encourage anybody to learn about psychology because it helps you to understand the dynamics. And yes, you're going to go through the motions of pain, anger, sadness, all of the grief because you wish you could have had a parental figure that society tells you and beats into your head is what parents are about. But not all of us have that beautiful bond. So I feel like this reading is more or less for those of you, and even if it wasn't a parental figure, maybe it was just family in general, but a lot of you may have been the scapegoat. You may have been the person that everybody took their pain out on. Why? Because you were kind, you didn't fight back, you were loving, you were nurturing, you became the parent you never had. And as tough as that is to accept from a spiritual level, and where things change and where, you know, spirit is bringing into the world the change we need, is that we have to understand the loss. We have to experience it. Now, not everybody does this. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of people who go through pain and they continue to abuse, okay? They don't change the genetic dispositions, if you will. They do not step up and change the pain. Instead, they hurt others, right? If you've ever heard the saying, hurt people hurt others. A lot of people will do that. But then there are the strong, okay? In Pisceans, I feel like you guys, especially being the last sign of the zodiac, and what you go through and the sacrifice you give for those that you love is immeasurable. And why? Because you understand at a deep subconscious level how important it is to have somebody that loves you. So you show up for people, hence the Hanged Man card, number 12, being sacrifice. You show up. You've been through so many lifetimes of being ignorant, being selfish, being, materialistic. All of those lifetimes you've lived it. But guess what? Now you're at that final stage. You're the last sign. You're the wisest sign. But what's funny is that all of the signs prior to you, and this is no slight on them, but each of them are a stepping stone, and they have pieces, and we have all of the pieces, and we put together the puzzle. So let me put the puzzle together for you from my understanding, okay? You can call me crazy. You can tell me that I've got issues. I don't care. But it's my truth, and it's my experiences, and a million of them in every situation. Life does not surprise me anymore. I can literally predict how things are going to, land on the table, how the cards are going to fall. But what's important to know is that with all of that wisdom, there is also you guys, because the last sign, being Pisces, is what every other sign prior is trying to gain, which is love. Right? And once we get to a vibrational existence of love, that's when we start to ascend. And not all of us get there. But I feel this reading is for those that are at that point where you start to understand that no matter whoever hurt you, no matter what losses that you've endured, you start to look around at the people who may not be your family or whatever else, but you look at them as the gift that they are. And why do they show up? Because guess what? Nothing is ever permanent in the physical realm. So these people show up to love you, especially when you need it the most. And tell me, seriously, put a comment in the section below. Put a comment in stating when you were surprised. And circling back to that, years ago when I had gotten in a fight with a boyfriend, I felt so alone, and lower vibrational people, the environment just wasn't good, and I was so lost. But you know what? I didn't know what to do, so I walked away alone. And I was walking down the street, and out of nowhere, no word of a lie, this guy shows up. It's 11:30 at night, around that, and he hands me a rose, and he says, "This is for you." And I was a little under the influence, not gonna lie, but I'm like, who is this person? He just shows up out of nowhere, and he has a rose, and he gives this to me. I'm like, thanks. And I didn't think much about it, and I took a couple of steps, and then all of a sudden I turned to look back. He was gone. Gone. And there I stood with this rose, a real rose, but the person was gone. And then I realized that that's how spirit works in mysterious ways. That was the love that I needed at the time. And so what I feel this reading is about is for you to understand that no matter what pain you go through, and sometimes we can carry this pain and go through depression. As Pisceans, we can, get stuck in this confusion, the moon, not knowing what is coming towards us, what is going. We don't have the clarity because we have so much knowledge, yet we don't know how to put the pieces of the puzzle together. But what's interesting is that this reading right now, this Two of Raphael, is to let you know that somebody loves you. They love you so much. And that you'll never be alone, not in the physical realm. Even though society tells you, oh, it'll be your family who will be there for you, yada, yada, yada. No. It will surprise you in the most miraculous ways how Spirit shows up and brings you two hearts dedicated to creating something wonderful, meaning someone is going to support you. So I see your pain, Pisces, but do you see this motherly, loving, nurturing card? What you lost, you give. Does that make sense? Do you see how you change the world? Do you see how you influence it? You may not have had the nurturing, but you bring the nurturing. And what's amazing about it is that there's always a cycle. So the Queen of Michael would be brilliant, self-reliant, insightful, humorous, darn straight. And you know exactly what to do. The benefit of experience. What was I just talking about? You've walked the walk. You've suffered both sides of that sword. You've suffered the positive. You've suffered the negative. But it's a time for your career, maybe, rather than relationships. Nah, I feel like you focus on that because you are successful. But I think what's going to shock you is some of you are now coming into that point where people are showing up for you. And they're respectful about it, which is weird. Do you see this knight? Like, this knight is holding the pentacle, but he's standing still. Why? Because he has a gift for you. And what is that gift? That gift is to let you know that you are supported and you are loved. No matter what comes your way, and even if you didn't have the love, the fact that you didn't have the love gave you the reason to be loving. And again, not everybody chose that road. But for those of you that this is resonating for, you know what I'm saying. And so you're at this point now where you have suffered so much, but yet I don't even think you realize the bonds that you've made or the people that love you. But they're going to show up if they haven't done already. And you're going to be shocked. You may have suffered a loss as of late. It could have been financial. It could have been physical. It could have been money-wise. It could have been health-wise. And I think you're going to be so surprised. And why? Because in your pain, you have the Judgment card. And what is the Judgment card? It's standing there in this aspect going, wait a minute. Why are these people showing up for me? And they are the people you least expected. Why are these strangers, co-workers, someone on the street that hands you a rose? Why are these people showing up and loving you and supporting you and saying, you lost all of these pentacles? Here, I'm giving you one. If not two, if not three, if not four, if not 5. And I think that some of you are at this level now where you're stopping and you're looking back and you're saying, you know, despite life's pain, it's always been there for me. I'm still here. I'm still standing strong. And no matter what label anybody or society puts on who's supposed to be there for me, someone's always shown up, haven't they? Haven't they? Even if you didn't want them, they showed up. Someone showed up. Queen of Michael, somebody who's been through so much pain. This is usually someone that's gone through divorce or has suffered a lot of hard knocks in life. But you know what? She's still standing tall. And at this point in time, you're coming to this awakening where you're looking back and you're saying, oh my goodness. You're right. Spirit has, despite the pain, there has been somebody. Whether you were having a bad day at work and a coworker, thanked you for all you do. Whether you were walking down the street and you gave somebody some money, change out of your pocket, and they were so grateful. You don't know how you impacted their life. But now, Spirit is paying you back. Do you see this Ten of Wands? This is the burdens, the pressure, the emotional pain, that actually gets stuffed inside of us because it is pressure. It's energetic pressure. You're getting a release. And why? Because you have the Lovers. Whether it be a romantic partner, whether it be family, whether it be a coworker, whether it be some stranger, whatever it is, strength. Do you see all the light in the back of this card? Strength and grace through kindness, self-confidence, and forgiveness. What was I just talking about in terms of the pain that someone caused you? You're at this point right now, Pisces, some of you, where you can look at the past and you can thank people for the pain they caused you, because the pain that they caused you transformed your energy. You took that pain and you changed it into being loving, and you probably didn't even realize the impact that you've had for others. You've shown up for others when they were in need. And I don't think you have a clue, because a lot of people, when they're suffering, they don't have that capacity and the time to reflect and say, oh, you know what? Thank you for being here. No, they're just trying to survive. Look at the crutches here. Look at this individual wrapped in a tattered warmth of blanket, whatever this is. But you were there. You showed up. And so some of you don't even realize it, but you're coming into a new era. You have lived this. You have done it. You have learned lessons, and now you have strength. And you're going to build self-confidence. And as well, that comes from the forgiveness. The forgiveness and actual gratitude. Because now you're going to look back and you're going to say, thank you for not being there for me. Because in my healing and who I've become is somebody who's not selfish, somebody who's not ignorant or abusive or whatever. You took your life experiences, you shaped it, you transformed it, and now I see some of you are going to be releasing a lot of pressure. It's now your time. Karma, the Lovers. The forgiveness makes you whole because you no longer see things in black or white. What do I mean by that? I mean, you're at that point where bad isn't bad and good isn't good. It just simply is. And why? Because it has an effect. So believe it or not, bad, which could be labeled as negative, whatever you want it to be, actually, on its flip side, because the Lovers are about merging in balance, the good, or sorry, in this case, maybe the bad you went through is actually the good that you're bringing into the world. Does that make sense? It's like you had the strength, because the Knight of Pentacles is the strongest knight in the deck. So you were brought here and you came back incarnated on this planet to take that pain and change it, to offer the gift of love to those that didn't have it. And guess what's happening now? You release this pressure. But here's what's funny. You've also come through a long, and I shouldn't say funny. I don't know why I say that. It's just a term, right? But you've come through a long period of pain, struggle, loss, sacrifice, everything. Because your heart is loving. Your heart is nurturing, whether you had it or not. But as cycles go, you've experienced pain, and guess what? Do you see this strong lion here, the strength? 7 of Gabriel, you no longer have to fight anymore. Somebody, and like I said, look back at it with this Judgment card. Who is it? And if they haven't shown up yet, they will show up shortly. You don't have to fight anymore, because you know what? Someone now, because you've manifested with this magician card, the power, you've manifested through all of your giving, your love, and being there for someone. What you give is what you get. And now you don't have to fight anymore. You're now coming into a period where somebody is going to be offering you help. Okay? Stability. Even money if you need it. Even food if you need it. Even a warm blanket to sleep with. I remember when I was with some friends and we were hanging out, you know, drinking, having a good time, but I saw these people go and hide under a tree, and I thought, what the? So I actually left the party, and I asked them, what are you doing? And then they explained their hardships to me and how they had lost their jobs, yada, yada, yada. It's a cold winter up in Canada. So I came back to the party and I asked the host, do you have any old blankets that you don't use? They were like, why? Well, I took those blankets and I went and two of them actually came along with, and physically wrapped them in warmth so that they could sleep for the night. Did I know them? No. Did I have to support them? No. But everything that I went through just instinctively gave me the inclination to go ahead and do this for someone. And now it's coming back. So the Seven of Gabriel, which would be the Seven of Wands upright, is saying no more needing to fight. Now is the time that you are going to be supported. You're going to be loved. Everything that you've given, and every time you've gone through pain and suffering and you've said to yourself, why do I do this? Why do I give so much? Why do I sacrifice? You know, people take, people use, people lie, people abuse. But you know why? Because if you look at the spiritual bigger picture, you're bringing the strength, the courage, and the love to the planets in the physical experience, so that people can actually experience love and feel it and breathe it and experience it. You're doing that. So here's that Ace of Wands. Brand new beginning. Brand new beginning. And why? Because now you've got someone there for you. So again, take a look back with this Judgment card. Even if somebody's not showing up in the moment, stop, reflect, and look back at who showed up, even if they just offered you a hug. I remember being on a bus and there was a girl. It was 7:30 in the morning. I was going to work and she was crying in her bus seat. And I got out of my seat, I got down really low, and I kind of just waddled over and I said, I don't know what's wrong, but I want you to know you're going to be okay and that you're loved. She looked at me and she just said, thank you. I just needed somebody to tell me I'd be okay. And I guarantee you Pisces have done this. And even if it's just that moment, that is the ripple. That is the stone that you throw into the water, and that rippling effect, it affects the whole shoreline. Okay? Because somebody remembers what you've done, and now, even if it's not the person you helped, now the beauty that you've created with this Magician card, all of the tools, you are making an influence in this world where people are starting to take action to be kinder, to be more generous, and to be more loving. Oh, that's powerful. Okay. That's what I got for you, Pisces. I had to get it out. So I hope you appreciated this reading. I hope it resonated for some of you. Regardless, I love you all and all of your support, being here for me, even your comments when I couldn't respond, because I've had a lot of loss too as of late. I want you to know that your existence brings so much love and strength to this world. So keep being you, even if you just drop a comment in, say, this YouTube video. If you drop a comment below and you just say hi, you don't even realize how much that means to somebody like me, who therefore gets that inspiration and that fire and energy to keep going and hopefully helps someone else. I love you, Pisces. Love you. You reflect on that. Bye.